All right, boys and girls. So it is Friday, and our lesson today is continuing with geometry. Yesterday, we learned about points, lines, and rays, and we also learned about parallel, intersecting, and perpendicular lines and angles. Today, we're going to be learning a little bit more about angles, okay? So let's review what we learned yesterday really quickly. So in geometry, we have, remember this dot is called a point. This should look familiar, this poster. This is what you practiced yesterday. So this dot is called a point. When we have a line with 2 points on the ends, that is called a line segment. A ray is when you have a point and then the line goes on forever, indicated by this arrow. A line has 2 arrows on both sides, indicating that they will go on forever in both directions. And this plane is just showing that, honestly, we don't have to worry about a plane, okay? Guided practice, here we go. So we did this yesterday. This is just kind of a review chart. Remember we talked about right angles, how we have like perpendicular lines here, one line going vertically, one line going, vertically this way, and the one line going horizontally, and how it has a square in it. Whenever you see that square corner and it measures 90 degrees, it is called a right angle. Now, an angle that is measured less than 90 degrees, like this angle right here, this is smaller than 90 degrees. It is called an acute angle. Remember, it's small and it's cute. Now, an angle that measures more than 90 degrees is called an obtuse angle. Remember, like an obese, a really big angle. And then an angle that forms a straight line and measures 180 degrees, going from here to here, is called a straight angle. And there's a line right there, okay? So that is some review. Here's some more. This symbol right here means it's going to be a right angle, measures 90 degrees. An acute angle measures less than 90 degrees. An obtuse angle measures more than 90 degrees, but also less than 180. It's less than a straight line. Okay, now let's learn something new. Angles. So this right here, this bluish purple shape is called a protractor. Now we have a whole class set of this, but since we aren't in class to use these in person, I'm going to do the best I can to kind of describe how to use these. It is a tool to measure angles. So when you use a protractor, you see that center of the protractor right here. It's a dot right here. You place the center of the protractor on the end point. See this end point right here, that point? You put it on the center of the, you put this protractor on top of the measured angle that you're trying to measure, okay? So place the center of the protractor on the end point of the angle with the straight line along the ray. So this line right here, you would match up to this line, this ray on the bottom that's going straight like this. You would match it up with this. You see that? Okay. It would look like that. So then you would place the center, place the center of the protractor on the end point of the angle with a straight line along the ray. So basically what we said, but this is just kind of showing what it would look like. See how this line is on that straight edge of the protractor. And then we're able to measure, counting up from 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So this angle would be measured as 100 degrees. Okay, make sure to use the set of numbers that lines up with 0. See how on the protractor, on the very bottom, we see 0, but above that, there's the number 180 versus 170 and so on. That is because depending on what side the angle is, we'll use one side of the protractor or the other. So just make sure that you see that this ray is pointed to the right. You're going to start with the bottom set of numbers, okay? So it says here, make sure to use the set of numbers that lines up with the 0. For example, since the 0 is on the bottom set of numbers, use the bottom number to determine the tick mark of the second ray, okay? And that's how we do it. So the ray lands between the 95 tick mark, and the 100 tick mark on the protractor. So it looks like it's closer to 100 though, so I'm going to say this angle measures about 98 degrees exactly. So each of these angles kind of shows, oh, okay, so this angle, we line it up at 0, and this would be 40 degrees. If we lined this angle up with the protractor, it would be 150. We would have to count all the way up to 150. See how it's almost a straight line there? It's a really obtuse angle. And this one over here, 87 degrees, we started at 0 and we count up all the way up to about 87 degrees right there. Okay, it's in between the 80 and the 90, so we're just saying it's approximately 87. Okay, so this right here, 87 would be an acute angle, 155 would be an obtuse angle, and 40 degrees would be an acute angle. All right, and that is it for our slideshow. I'm going to have you do an activity to practice a protractor. Good luck, you're gonna do great.